Alright, so we're back on the 64 Mercury Comet, and what are we doing today? Well, we are working more on that rust repair and such. We have this trunk rim, and one other thing that we're hopefully going to do in this video. Don't know if it's going to work out, but I have a vent window that got broken, and we're going to try to replicate one out of a piece of plexiglass so we can at least get the hole filled up. So let's get going. We're going to start out by working around this trunk rim some and see if we can get it cleaned up enough to hold some por-15. And we've got another product we're going to bring in here in just a few minutes and talk about, and to maybe help with some of this rust repair. Alright, well, that's a good bit of time lapse that we had there. I didn't want to bore you with all of that. That was a lot of scraping and a lot of rubbing. Was it enough? Probably not. Probably should have put a stripper on it and took it down, but you know, I've said before, this car is not some kind of a restoration. I'm just trying to preserve what's left of this track, and what I'm going to do to fill this rust in and these spots that are missing metal, like right here and over here. I'm using JB Weld epoxy to fill these holes. I've done it before on a smaller scale than this, and it worked quite well. I did it on a 67 Mustang. There was a spot on the cowl that had a rust hole, and I mean, we just, the guy I was doing the work for, he didn't have the money to buy another cowl cover, and I treated it with por-15, put some JB Weld putty on it, sanded it down, smoothed it in, and and then painted it with some close matching white paint. It went away. You couldn't even see it. So this is going to do for what I want. Preserve this, what's left of this trunk rim, stop it from rusting any further, and if this JB Weld in a couple of years falls out and I've still got the car, well, I'll mix up some more and poke in the hole and paint it again. It's not that big a deal. So let's move on to our next thing we were going to talk about, and that is KBS coating that Gramps saw and thought that might be useful for doing this project. I don't think we're going to use the KBS back here on the trunk rim, but I do have a place that I think we can use the KBS coating. So let me go get that, and I'll show you what we're thinking about using that KBS for. All right, so this is the KBS patch. This is product that Gramps found. You may have been to the channel anytime before. You know that Gramps is my dad. He saw this product, thought it might be something that I could use on this trunk back here, like I said earlier. I don't think I'm going to try to use this KBS patch on the trunk area. I think I'm going to carry on with what I'm doing. But There is a place for this KBS patch to be used on these doors. I think that's going to work well, even more so than what I had planned to do with por-15 fiberglass and the JB Weld putty. So what you do with the KBS is you take it out of the package and you keep it out of the sunlight until you're ready to use it. It's got a stick, got two covers on it. It's got a sticky side and another side that you peel off. You need to take and make a template and go ahead and cut it out to the shape that you want. Get your area clean that you want to patch, and then apply it. And then you have to put it under UV light. If you have it where it can be exposed to sunlight, it is a process that they said it takes 2 to 5 minutes for it to kick off and cure, or it's an area that you can't get sunlight to it. Gramps went ahead and got me the UV light so that you can shine this on it, and this takes anywhere from over 5 minutes, I think, to up to 20 minutes, and it's probably got to do with temperature outside and some other factors. I haven't used this stuff yet, so it's coming, but I wanted to show you, and I'm going to bring you in here and I'm going to show you where we're going to use it, how we're going to use it. Got you set up so that you can see the bottom of this door, and you can see that we have a hole all the way from the inside to the outside. So what I'm thinking that I will do is I'm going to treat this with the por-15, and I'll have to get inside the door, and I want to treat all that and treat all this right here, and I'm going to take a piece of that KBS patch and I'm going to lay it in right here on the inside of the door. And I'm thinking what I'm going to do to the outside of the door is I'm going to use the JB Weld patch. The JB Weld patch, it grinds smooth, it has a nice finish to it when you hit it with the sandpaper. It looks good, it paints, the holes paint well. Just it does everything you want that anybody could ask it to do. So I think that if I can put the KBS here and the not the pour patch, but the JB Weld patch on the outside, that will fix that rust hole there. And there's actually a rust hole at the front of this door and at the front of the driver's door. So we'll have to be repaired the same way. All right, so we're moving on to our next project. This is the frame that I had for the vent window on this car, and my son did not realize that it was not attached here at the bottom, that this was broken off and that it was just sitting there. It sat fairly securely. I could shut the door, do anything with the door, but he took and moved it and he didn't realize that it was not attached. And well, it shattered when it hit the ground. So I'm going to try to put a piece of plexiglass in for this vent window, and I'm going to glue it and try to glue it into position so that it at least has the correct framing and has something to fill the hole. You know, a piece of plexiglass is better than nothing. Until what I'm going to have to do is eventually I'm going to have to buy a driver's side vent glass assembly, and I've tracked down a couple, but I haven't popped on anything just yet. Spin you around here. The passenger side vent glass on this car works perfectly. It's just like it's supposed to. The gasket is missing somewhat, so you know, is what it is. Those they sell those are replaceable, but this vent glass does exactly what it's supposed to do. So I want to replace the driver's side, but like I said, the time and opportunity has not presented itself yet. So we are going to try to make one. So let's get in here and do that. All right, well, that went easier than expected, actually. Is it perfect? No, not exactly. But does it close up the hole? And is it clear and I can actually see out to this mirror right here? Yeah, I think it's going to work. Um, like I said, perfect? No. Functional? Very. I think we're going to be okay. The next step in this process will be to try to glue it in place. My son's got some glue that he used to do a very similar project with a vent glass, and we're going to put some glue down in that track and let it see if it'll cure. It says it sets, and I just have to read the instructions on it again, but it actually takes a full 1 to 2 weeks before it cures. Some super space age glue that sticks even if it's got water on it. Yeah, let's move on to that stage. Well, it's not giving me with this glue the prettiest finish that I could have expected. Never used this glue before, so I didn't know how gloppy it was. It's gonna be what it is. It'll be glued in place. Now I'm just gonna set it up and have it where it'll cure, and once it's cured, then I will glue it in place on the door. I don't know exactly what I'm going to use to set it in place on the door just yet. I want it to be something that I can get back loose to take it apart if I ever do get a vent window assembly, because all that has to come back apart and the door disassembled. And I don't want to use window weld because it'll take a torch to get that apart. So probably going to use something like a black silicone to match the gasket that's there anyway, and just silicone around it and just have it stuck in place. So just keep somebody from reaching their hand in there and being able to unlock the door. So anyway, moving on to the next project. All right, so what are we working on now? Well, kind of appropriate that we're on top of a garbage can. We're working on garbage, but we're going to try to mix up some more putty and see if we can fill this up to where we can have something to grind down smooth, because this is where the gasket is going to lay. And with these rust holes here, there's nothing for the gasket to seal to. So we need to fill these up to try to seal the trunk. I again know this isn't the correct way to do this, and I'm really wishing that I had slowed down and por-15'd all this in really good, then put the putty in. But you know what? I got in a hurry. It's too late to do it now, so we might as well keep marching forward. Well, as you can see there, I have gotten pretty good at putting the trunk lid on and off. It's got to have some adjustment done to it, but I need to get the gasket in it and finish fixing all that and get the gasket back in it, and then I can make any adjustments that need to be made. It's sitting a little low, and I'm hitting a quarter panel, but it's about the same all the way around, and it wasn't doing that before I pulled the gasket out, so I'm thinking that's all that I need to do is put the gasket back in and then make some adjustments. But we got to let the por-15 cure, and we got to come back and start doing our thing with the putty patch. I know a lot of people curl their lip at stuff like this, but again, this is a restoration, not a restoration, and it is to get the car sealed up and just get it going down the road again. The places that it mattered that it be welded and metal replaced, I did that. Floor pans, frame rails, and such as that. All of that was welded, new metal, done just like it was supposed to be done. This stuff right here I consider cosmetic, and really doesn't matter that much, not to me anyway. Speaking of cosmetic, you can see here on half of this deck lid and the top of this quarter and portions right here, it's a little shiny. I did a short on it. I don't know if you saw it, but I did a little work on these panels right here and up here part way onto the door. I used 1000 grit, did it by hand, just carefully and slowly, wet sanded it with soapy water, and just came back after I hit it with 1000, and just came back with some wax. If I'd had my some polishing compound and some of the buffing pads that I'm eventually going to go get that stuff. But if I'd had that, this would be even shinier. It'd be like shiny as a brand new penny. But I just wanted to see what the patina was going to look like. Yeah, these scratches right here and all that. Yep, it's perfect. It's just the way I wanted it. It's all smooth as a baby's butt. And it's starting to come back this way. I think it's going to look really good shiny. The hood, if you remember correctly, it is white. It's a totally different color than the rest of the vehicle. I'm going to 1000 it. I'm not going to try to buff it. I'm going to go out and I'm going to get a quart of sweet patina. And the hood will be done in sweet patina. I don't think there's any shine left to be gotten out of that hood. It's off a different vehicle, and I don't even know what they did as far as, because it was originally, that hood was green and they painted it white, and then it's got rust. Who cares? So we're going to 1000 grit it, get it nice and slick, and hit it with some sweet patina. So while we're waiting on this por-15 to cure up and get to where we can do some more work on it, while you're waiting on all that to happen, why don't you go out and watch another video? It's going to be coming on the screen right now.